What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video is the top 10 documentaries that ruined people's lives.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed. Have you seen the thumbnail for this video?
Yeah. So I know.
So we know one of them. I saw it as well. Yeah, Tiger King, Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
She was on the thumbnail. That is one. We have seen Tiger King as well, haven't we?
Yes.
So we get all that. I don't know who's on the screen at the moment.
No idea.
But this is going to be 10 documentaries that ruin people's life. Going to be interesting because maybe we got to watch these documentaries after.
I wonder if we've already watched them.
Interesting, because we've seen Tiger King, so maybe we'll check it out. Smash the I button, guys. Smash that subscribe button. Are you ready to get into it?
I am.
Let's get into it. Check out Patreon, by the way, because we are literally sat down now to pre-record loads when we're away. So there's going to be a video 48 hours in advance every single day on Patreon between Monday the 17th to the 23rd.
Yes.
Yeah, 48 hours in advance on Patreon every single day. Early access. So link in the description. It would help us out.
This is going to be a thing. This is going to be a thing that people bother me about, and that's going to make my life harder.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 documentaries that ruin people's lives.
The downside of giving an interview is that the interviewer will take what I've said to make me look as bad as possible.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most noteworthy documentary films and series that had a strongly negative impact on certain affiliated individuals. What other documentaries inspired an unfortunate change in people's lives? Give us your take in the comments.
I don't know anyone else so far.
Number 10, Tiger King.
Oh, there we go.
Carol Baskin. Eccentric former zookeeper Joe Exotic claims that the hit Netflix docuseries Tiger King ruined his life.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another fun episode of A Day in My Life, here on JoeExoticTV.com.
That's saying a lot considering he was already in prison when the show premiered.
Yeah, he was in prison
before. It may be less
before.
debatable to argue that the documentary instead damaged the reputation of his arch nemesis, Carol Baskin.
Hi, I'm Carol Baskin, and I'm the founder and CEO of Big Cat Rescue.
Tiger King seemingly painted the animal rights activist as Exotic's even matching ego, if not animal mistreatment. The docuseries was also criticized for overexposing the theory that Baskin had a hand in her ex-husband Don Lewis's disappearance.
There's a lot of stories about Carol.
Everyone loved this show. This show was great.
It was a good show.
But nobody can prove it.
This particularly inspired devastating harassment online. Though her raised profile has also promoted her activism, Baskin feels betrayed by Netflix's depiction, and that too many people have made up their minds on the mystery of Lewis's fate.
I can see that.
The calls and social posts and emails that I was getting were so hateful. I couldn't leave my phone on because I couldn't sleep. It was just constantly ringing.
Number 9, the case of JonBenet Ramsey, Burke Ramsey. The unsolved murder of child beauty queen JonBenet Ramsey has been followed by scandal ever since 1996.
Soon, pictures of this little girl became public, igniting a media frenzy, and the eyes of the world focused on this shocking case.
As if the loss and media circus weren't traumatizing enough, the Ramsey family has long dealt with theories that they were the culprits. All 3 members were eventually cleared by DNA evidence in 2008. Nonetheless, the 2016 miniseries The Case of JonBenet Ramsey still argued that the victim's older brother Burke was responsible.
He seems to have gone into sort of playful mode, and the tone of it is completely off.
His sister disappears in the middle of the night. She ends up dead in the basement, and he doesn't
worry about himself or worry that they may come back for him.
Burke promptly filed a defamation suit against CBS.
We would have to watch the documentary to have our own opinion, obviously.
Yeah.
Absolutely no clue about that.
Nope.
But let's just say none of the family did it. How awful you'd feel with everyone telling you did it.
Yeah, especially
you know what I mean?
Like you're a kid.
Exactly, it's your kid, isn't it, at the end of the day? And especially then the brother as well, who was a kid.
But the brother's a little kid. Like,
yeah.
He's not older than 10, is he?
Yeah, exactly. It's like how awful that growing up must be. Everyone just accusing. Again, I've never heard of it until we've seen that, so I can't comment. But yeah.
Some of the show's participants. Following an out-of-court settlement, the older Ramsey returned to a private life. Still, with many maintaining that JonBenet was killed by Burke, he has undoubtedly found his reputation tarnished by the claims of this docuseries.
I can imagine.
I think early on, we discussed the lack of the family actually getting involved with the investigation to begin with. And that is so atypical of what I see in a case where someone close to you has passed away. You'll do whatever.
This is the Aura.
I understand that. You would do whatever you could to find out, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That is a little bit dodgy, but again, absolutely no clue.
And that is so atypical of what I see in a case where someone close to you has passed away. You'll do whatever you can to get the case resolved.
Number 8, The King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters, Billy Mitchell. Seth Gordon's documentary on the feud for Donkey Kong conquest won high scores with audiences.
I've seen this guy.
Of course, the public attention it revived for record holder Billy Mitchell backfired.
competitive gaming
when you want to attach your name to a world record, when you want your name written into history, you have to pay the price.
The King of Kong was among the sources investigated by specialists to conclude that Mitchell's scoring track record was partially attained with emulation software. This provided an undue advantage, allowing anyone to play outside of arcade machines.
He was a guy that pushed for live scores all the time. And now here I am at Fun Spot, busting my ass to get a live score, and he just submits tape scores now.
Mitchell's records were removed from databases, and the gaming community ostracized him. In a defamation suit against his accusers, he even claimed that his doctor refused to treat his stress-related health issues.
What?
Although some of his records have since been reinstated, the King of
Why
Kong
would they
helped
do that?
bring down the gamer royalty Mitchell built an entrepreneurial brand on.
I'm just some no-name guy from Washington. Billy's trying to live up to this image of being the greatest ever, and so he's afraid that if he loses, that's going to tarnish him.
Number 7, Making
I
a
mean,
Murderer.
I've seen Making a Murderer.
Have we?
I have.
I don't think I have.
Have you not? Oh, that's good. The last one I've seen, I think it was a YouTube video. I think it's like Penguin or something. Long hair. He just talked about stuff. He talked about a guy, so I know a little bit about it. Making a Murderer. Have you not seen this?
No, I don't think so.
So he's probably going to explain it, but he goes to jail, I'm pretty sure, for like 20 odd years for murder he didn't do.
I think I've seen this.
But then he gets accused of another murder. And I think he's in jail. I think he's in jail again now. This is after.
Oh, so he got arrested and put in jail for a murder that he didn't do. He'd served
And then he
the
came
time.
out, and then another thing happened. And this documentary is like during the court process of the new one, because they reckon he's been framed again in the court. I can't remember the full details, and there were a few dodgy things. And I think he's in jail again now. But like because we were going to pay him a massive. He got a massive
Well,
fee
he would have got a massive fee because
for being in jail for 20 years.
Yeah, for no reason.
And then the laws were saying he was innocent. On this new one again, he's been framed because of the fee. Have you not seen it?
No, I've seen something once about someone being in prison.
Yeah, it's good.
They didn't do, but I don't know if it was this guy.
Yeah, it's definitely a good documentary. Again, I haven't seen it 2015, 2018, so I probably watched it in 2018 or 2015, but it's definitely worth a watch.
Ken Kratz. As district attorney for Calumet County, Wisconsin, Ken Kratz landed the famous murder convictions of Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey in 2007.
We're obviously happy with the results. We believe that a just result was reached in this trial.
Controversy that these may have been wrongful convictions eventually went global with the release of the Netflix docuseries Making a Murderer.
Don't let Netflix tell you what to think!
Kratz's glory was short-lived anyway, as a harassment scandal had cost him his office in 2010.
Oh,
But
wow.
after the documentary's examination of possible judicial impropriety, Kratz faced death threats and a barrage of negative Yelp reviews. He has since lost his law
Yelp
license.
reviews.
Kratz continues to grant public interviews and has been working on a book to dispute the show's supposedly flimsy evidence.
This wasn't a documentary at all. This was a defense piece. It was generated by and for Stephen Avery by his defense team.
The court of public opinion has nonetheless not been kind to him.
Let us know in the comments
Number
about
6,
that. What
Going
you reckon?
Clear, Scientology and the Prison of Belief. Former Church of Scientology members.
Okay.
Alex Gibney's documentary on the mysterious Church of Scientology was praised by general audiences, but received a very different reaction from Scientologists.
You know, why did they go into it in the first place? I was interested in intelligent and skeptical people who are drawn into a belief system and wind up acting on those beliefs in ways they never thought they would.
Gibney has expressed remorse that many people who worked on Going Clear subsequently suffered retaliation from church officials.
They take enemies very seriously.
This comes right out of Hubbard's own policies from the 60s. He's saying we never defend, we always attack. And they have followed it ever since. They call it fair game. And anybody who criticizes Scientology is fair game.
Former members whose interviews exposed the church's history and controversial practices got it the worst. Filmmaker Paul Haggis, journalist Tony Ortega, and others reported being surveilled. A private investigator also confessed to being hired to hack into several email accounts. These all seem to be consistent with the disturbing stories exposed throughout the documentary.
Again and again, while reporting this story, we met many former members who described Scientology as a dangerous and deeply paranoid organization.
Never heard of it, have you?
Of Going Clear in religious debate, its effects extended far beyond the current Scientology congregation.
Okay.
Number 5, the show about the show. Kava Zahedi.
What?
Arguably the most daring project from meta filmmaker Kava Zahedi was the show about the show, in which each episode documented the making of the previous episode.
What's the show?
This show.
What show?
This show.
I don't understand when you say this show.
This show, like the show about the show.
Released online and on both
Wait.
cable access.
The concept of it is to release the making of each episode in the next episode.
The making of each episode.
That's what you said, weren't it?
Yeah.
So you do episode 1, that's normal. Episode 2 is how we made episode 1. But episode 3 is
how we made episode
how
2.
we made what we shows you how we made episode.
Wow.
But is that right? Is that
That sounds very boring.
because on episode 9, you're like, yeah, well, we recorded us recording this. Like,
yeah,
surely.
Like, surely you get over, like, what?
But there must be an episode and then about it and then an episode. Surely. Let us know in the comments.
Otherwise, that is.
Yeah, I'm well confused.
Why?
The niche program turned out to be more dramatic than anyone expected. The intrusive and candid production imploded Zahedi's already rocky marriage, plus a subsequent romance.
Because she keeps doing this. She keeps saying,
I want to break up and I want you to move out.
and then she changes her mind.
I want to try and make it work.
And then she says it again.
I want to break up and I want you to move out.
And then she changes her mind.
He claims that his whole personal life has been destroyed by its own documentation. The show about the show wound up being a reality show that truly lives up to the genre's name. Zahedi does not regret the project, however.
And I'm thinking, why the did he break the tape? I could have used that in the show.
In fact, he's trying to keep it going totally independently, although he'll be the first to admit that it upended his whole world. Number 4.
Yeah, I'm so confused. Let us know in the comments.
Despite the very limited release of the Boondock Saints, writer-director Troy Duffy became a cult sensation.
I do believe the Messiahs finally got the point.
Aye. Fans got to go behind the scenes with his filmmaking and music breakout in the documentary overnight. This showcased Duffy as an undeniable talent, but whose contentious behavior eventually led to his downfall.
You tell them I'm the CAA in 6 months, if they don't start moving on this shit.
Okay, my suggestion to you is that it's okay for you to say you're upset. It's not okay for you to say you're considering leaving.
All right, then say I'm upset.
That's fine.
His antagonism towards his veteran producers ultimately led to Miramax dropping his movie, and Harvey Weinstein having him blacklisted.
Oh, wow.
Overnight is a record of Duffy destroying his own life, but he claims that the documentary showed his inexcusable behavior out of context. It certainly cost him the potential salvation of public sympathy.
You have changed big time, and I wouldn't say in the positive direction.
Duffy has since made only one other movie, The Boondock Saints 2.
No, so that is the documentary about. I mean, it seemed like making the movie he was in.
Okay.
About him, and because he was such a dick, pretty
Right,
much,
okay.
he got blacklisted from Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
This is your video pick.
Yeah.
And you're most confused.
The title was like intriguing to me, but
He's
after
so
Carol Baskin, I'm
I'm just lost. At least I've seen a couple of them, so I get
I feel
a
like
lot.
maybe it's because don't know anything. Like the Carol Baskin one, I know about.
Yeah,
so like,
yeah,
maybe
you got
that's
a bit
why
more.
I get it.
Like, I didn't know the last one either. This I kind of get it. And all I keep thinking is you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're a dick, you shouldn't really deserve to get anyway. So don't be a dick to people. Be lovely, be positive, be nice. You know what I mean?
Number 3, The Staircase, Michael Peterson and his family.
Yes,
The
I know
French
about this.
docuseries
I
Soupçon,
don't.
better known as The Staircase, was groundbreaking in its intimate coverage of an infamous trial.
I know about this.
That of American novelist Michael Peterson for the murder of his wife Kathleen.
Yes.
And then I can...
She was found at the bottom of the stairs.
Now you've woke up.
Yes, because I've watched this documentary on Netflix.
Okay. Is it good?
Yeah, it's weird.
Is it?
It's weird.
So did he kill her? Is that what we reckon?
That's what.
But he's not in jail.
I can't remember the outcome. All I remember is she was found at the bottom of the stairs, but she wasn't found in a position where she could have actually fallen down the stairs. Do you know what I mean?
That she's put there.
It freaks me out.
remember, and it must have been very early while I was still in the kitchen, that a cop was on me instantly. Everywhere I went, a policeman was there.
After the show was released, its massive success destroyed any hope of privacy for the grieving family. Peterson's conviction was later overturned, and he eventually accepted an Alford plea for a lesser charge.
So I've never doubted my dad's innocence, but it's just kind of, I don't know, a hard place to be.
This allowed him to maintain his innocence over the crime. Netflix then released an update of The Staircase in 2018, inviting social media hostility on the Petersons. This was further addressed in the 2022 documentary Subject.
It's still hitting me, like, that this is actually happening. Ugh, it's so gross.
Whatever the truth about Kathleen Peterson's death, The Staircase succeeded in turning a family tragedy into a public inquiry. Number 2, The Square.
Let us in the
Ahmed
comments.
Hassan.
I don't know.
Following the deposition of corrupt President Hosni Mubarak in 2011, Egypt endured years of political and civil unrest.
I remember that.
ولما نزلت الشارع لقيت كل اللي حواليا ما يقولوش عني أي حاجة.
Thing is, we were kids at this when this were happening to the riots in Cairo.
Cairo.
But I went to Sharm el Sheikh. Is it Sharm el Sheikh? I think it's Sharm el Sheikh, but the opposite side. With my mum, literally, we were only like a hotel that holds like 4,000 people, like sort of like 7 pools and stuff like that. But we were only 300 in the hotel because all these riots were going. So it was kind of like maybe don't fly there. But we were 8 hours, an 8-hour drive away.
But you were like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we were Sharm el Sheikh was like still an 8-hour drive away. But because people were being cautious, the hotel had like 300 people instead of 4,000. So the whole block pushed it off. But you had like 7 pools pretty much to yourself. It was great. It was absolutely great. But obviously this was going on.
The Square explored this gruesome period through the perspective of its own cinematographer, Ahmed Hassan. The filmmaker and democracy activist knew the risks in becoming a public figure of resistance.
أقسمت بالله مش همشي من الميدان ولا همشي من المكان ده إلا ما تتحقق كل حاجة.
While the Egyptian crisis ended in 2014, Hassan wasn't around for this. Instead, he had been exiled from Egypt, fearing retaliation from the authoritarian regime. He also had limited contact with his family out of concern for their safety.
Oh, wow.
The Square may have won Hassan an Emmy for his cinematography, but the project seemingly left him worse off, as he was driven from his homeland.
Yeah, I must be
Before
hard.
we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Do that here, would appreciate it.
Number 1. The Jinx, the life and deaths of Robert Durst. Robert Durst. In 1982, real estate heir Robert Durst was investigated for the murder of his wife, Kathleen McCormack.
Would you, for the record, tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury your name?
Robert Durst.
He was eventually brought to trial in 2003 for another murder, amidst rumors of a third. Durst refused to do interviews after his acquittal, but was so impressed by All Good Things, a movie based on his bizarre story, that he agreed to sit down with filmmaker Andrew Jarecki.
I mean, this whole time since I've gotten out of prison, I've said nothing to nobody about anything. So people out there have gotten very used to the fact they can say anything you want, because I'm never going to give an interview, so it's never going to be disputed.
The docuseries The Jinx ended with Durst forgetting that he was still mic'd up, seemingly admitting to all 3 murders.
What the hell did I do? Kill them all, of course.
This may have just been in jest, but Durst was still charged with one of the killings. He was finally convicted in 2021. While true crime documentaries may be accused of consequential biases, it's hard to argue with Durst's self-incrimination.
I mean, yeah, he said it himself, didn't it? I mean, I didn't understand a lot of them. I think that's more our problem, not the video's problem. It is Watch Mojo. Not everyone likes Watch Mojo. We understand that. But I think that was more of an us problem.
Yeah, I didn't know all of them, so I didn't get them.
And it was a little bit confused. But hopefully you legends have cleared some of them up in the comments below. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. What should we do?
Have a fantastic day.
Yeah, we'll see you legends in the next one. Peace.